Grimsby Pelham was founded in 1878, but was renamed as Grimsby Town Football Club. The club has encountered some dramatic moments over the years, but through all the highs and lows, the fans have remained loyal. There's something about the passion of Grimsby Town fans that separates them from every other football fan in the country. But what is it that keeps people coming back to Blundell Park week after week? What is it that tempts thousands of people to travel to the far side of the country on a cold Tuesday night to watch their mighty Mariners? The support that Grimsby Town attract week after week is admired all over England, arguably some of the most passionate fans in the country. Despite having played in the top flight of English football, Grimsby have experienced their fair share of misfortune over the years and played non-league football for a number of seasons. Nevertheless, great support has always surrounded Grimsby Town Football Club and played a special part in the communities of Grimsby and Cleethorpes. This film will explore what it is about this great club that keeps people coming back for more.
The club is in the heart of the community.
This is my team, it's my club, and it's my town.
It's a well-supported club, and they've only got to be successful here, and they will get 8,000.
I know that this club means a lot to a lot of people. The away fans are unique.
If your family's a Grimsby Town family, then you're born into it.
Grimsby Town fans are fantastic.
Followers all congregate, the bottleneck is wide. I dream like a life for you. I dream like a life. I dream like a life for you. I dream like a
It's a club that's in the past been, at the top of the football pyramid. So, in terms of the club itself and the fan base, it's a massive club. We currently find ourselves in non-league. Definitely not a non-league club, that's for a fact, but that's where we find ourselves at the minute, and we're doing all we can to make sure we change that.
Ultimately, this club is a proper football club, so to speak. That's what I say when I speak about it. And within this community, it is a massive part. You go to other places, especially big cities, and generally have a big Premier League club. That's the main part of the city. There's nothing like that around it. So Grimsby Town is such a massive part of this community. And
they've been in the non-league for 5 or 6 seasons now, and they are a big non-league club. Grimsby, probably the biggest non-league club, and that's because of where we were. It's not too long ago that we were playing in the Championship, playing the likes of Manchester City and Blackburn Rovers and Crystal Palace and all these teams, Forest, and more than matching them on the pitch. And really, it's a crying shame when you think of all the hard work that it took to get us at that level, to see where we are now. And nobody wants them to be a non-league club. We all think we should be in the Championship again, but when you see all the hard work and the talented players that came here in the past to get us to that level, it's really, really difficult because of finance and what have you, to see the club being able to achieve that level again. But you've got to have hopes, you've got to have dreams, haven't you?
I think being part of a football club is special. Once you've got that affiliation with a football club, it probably never leaves you, because that football club's always going to be there. It's never going to go anywhere, it's never going to do anything to you. It might take you some bad times and good times, but it's always going to be there. And I think that's why the football club's so important, especially for a boy growing up like I. Most boys in general watch football, they want to be part of football, they love football. Most kids on a playground play football.
Despite the disappointment of Grimsby having spent time as a non-league club, it's still loved by so many. Blundell Park is a magical place for the large number of town fans to support their team.
People love the club because it's very much in their blood, and I think that if you've been a Grimsby Town fan since knee-high, you will be a town fan for the rest of your life. And looking at the fans who come in, week out, those are the sort of fans who've been here since they were youngsters, and they will continue to be Grimsby Town fans for the rest of the days, I think. So that's why it's so important, I think, for people.
That's what it is. It's having that link with your family, your friends. It's something special. As I say, even when there's only 2,500 here or 2,000 here, you still feel part of something. You still feel like you're all here for one reason, and
you know, you're all here to support town, and that's what it's all about. Like the sounds and the smells of football, you know, just the atmosphere, and you know, people, some of the language you heard. I mean, even at like 12-year-old, it was a different world, and you just felt like, I don't know, you felt, because you're from the town, you feel like you got some sort of connection to the place.
It's the magic of Blundell Park, which a lot of people won't want me to say that because we need a new ground desperately, and I'll agree with that, but just the magic of walking down Grimsby Road, Cleethorpes Road, and being part of the club. That's the specialness of Grimsby Town.
They know where the park, they know where they walk to every week, they know the route to the ground, they've got a morning routine. It is their club, and clubs like this, maybe in towards the lower reaches and maybe outside of the Premier League, it does feel like it's very much yours and yours to sort of have that relationship with.
Once the crowd starts to chant, it's something special. I remember being out on the ground taking photographs of the mascots coming out on Boxing Day, and I stood on the ground, and as I stood there I went, oh, because I just thought, wow, listen to that, and how it must be for the players coming out.
It's not always the easiest place to play, if I'm honest, especially sometimes, you know, because of the level we're at. Obviously the fans are expecting a lot, which rightly so, where we are, and sometimes it can be tough, but at the same time I always remember one game we played Scunny at home. You know, I've never heard anything, you know, atmosphere wise when I've played like that. It was rocking. I always remember walking up for a corner and thinking, wow, this is bouncing.
The atmosphere around the game, you know, there was a real buzz, more so than any I think I've managed in. Before the home game against Scunthorpe in particular, you know, walked out on the pitch and you could hear all the fans outside of the stadium, you know, never mind in it. And that was a good day. We didn't quite get the win, but in the replay we managed to do the job, and again to celebrate in front of the fans and know what it means.
People say when they come to Blundell Park how important the crowd can be. Sometimes there's mumblings and there's discontent when the team aren't doing so well, but when the team is doing well, that crowd can make such a difference. When the pontoon's singing, and you speak to any players, all the players who've played here down the years, when the pontoon starts singing, that makes a huge difference, and it can give the players that extra spring in the step, I think, to do well in a game. And I'm sure teams don't like coming here, particularly when the crowd are vociferous on a match day.
When it gets bouncing and things are going your way, it's a great place to play. We're obviously well supported, and you know, nothing better than when you can get the home crowd behind you. When things aren't going so well, it can be difficult at times because the crowd aren't sort of shy in letting some of the players or myself know the feelings. But again, thankfully, more often than not, it's been positive. I know that this club means a lot to a lot of people in this area, so it's nice to be able to give something back.
We're still getting decent crowds now, despite the fact that we're not in the league. And like I say, I think the fans deserve some credit for sticking with everything and sticking with their football club.
If you cut my wrists, you'll probably see black and white in there somewhere along the lines. There's no doubt it means an awful lot to me. It does to my brothers, to my family. And you know, it's a massive thing. You know, that there's all sorts of people that do nothing more than think about a fixture list coming out before the season starts, and you know, it's a key part of their existence. I'm talking about people that may be from a deprived background or whatever. The football club means so much to so many people that you know, is a big part of Grimsby's tapestry. And very, very important, and it's really important from my point of view as a custodian that we ensure that the football club's here for generations into the future and being a legacy. So that's our aim and objective.
It's something that's been in my blood since I was a youngster. My dad first brought me when I was 10 years old. Been going home and away ever since, really. It's my life in terms of this is what I do now. I'm retired from work, so the work I do with the Mariners Trust and with the Grimsby Town Board is what I do as a hobby or for love, really.
Grimsby Town Football Club is at the heart of its community, a community which on the 8th of May 2010 suffered more heartache when the club was relegated to non-league football on a dark day at Burton Albion.
This is Coca-Cola League 2. Please welcome Grimsby Town and Blundell Park.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's the 8th of May 2010. This could arguably be the most eventful hour and a half in the history of Grimsby Town Football Club. We have made the trip over to Staffordshire, to the home of Burton Albion, the Pirelli Stadium.
I have to say it was devastating. Without doubt I shed a tear. Not for myself, but thinking about everybody. Everyone at the club, how hard everybody had worked, and nevertheless we couldn't avoid losing and relegation into the conference. Devastating to happen on your watch, and of course thinking about the impact on finance and the fans more generally, and the disappointment of it. It was a devastating day, and it's one that will live with me for the rest of my life.
From a financial and sustainable point of view, then the financial rewards of being in the league are so much higher than being down at this level. For instance, the pot that you get from the Football League, which we no longer get, is something like £600,000 a year, which would be obviously such a large amount of money to this club. It would mean that we stand a far better chance of being sustainable and not having to rely on director funding, which is what we're doing at the moment.
If you think about it, there was a loss of revenue from the league, so that's had an impact on things. But I've got to say, the supporters have rallied behind the club unbelievably in the last sort of 6 years. It's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You couldn't have asked for any more from our supporters, local businesses, and everybody has stuck with the club over the last sort of 6 seasons. It's credit to them for that, because it'd have been easy to say, oh no, that's it, and we've been very fortunate that we've been helped on our way to try and get back up by the loyal supporters and loyal businesses locally. Yeah, I mean that was a low point for the club. I think it was a terrible day. We knew the outcome of the game was probably going to we knew it was going to dictate our future, but I think it was out of our hands a little bit as well. So I don't think I spoke in the car on the way back for about an hour. You just run through lots of things in your head, and it's really disappointed, and it's a real sort of sad, empty feeling that you left the game with, and like I say, it'll go down as a sad day in the history of this football club.
Regardless of the good and bad times for Grimsby Town Football Club, Kev Rogers has contributed to the atmosphere at Blundell Park for many years by being the club's announcer. Let's take a closer look at his role.
The players always come out at the same time. You know you've only got 2 minutes from when the players start walking out to when the game kicks off. You've got about 2.5 minutes really. So you've got to cram it all in then. That's reading the teams out, sort of introducing the teams into the crowd and getting the crowd going, and so it's sort of little bits and bobs that make up the whole job. It's great, good fun. I've been very lucky. I've introduced teams like West Ham, Chelsea, Manchester, all the bigger teams. I've managed to do it at Wembley, which was absolutely fantastic. What a great occasion! Twice at Wembley I've done that, all because I support my local football team, and I really do believe it's only because of that. It's got nothing special or anything like that I do. I've got an ability, I can talk, But, you know, being lucky enough to actually work for the football club, marvellous. You get to be in the tunnel. You see the players when they're doing their walkabout and they're looking nervous and things, and you think, crikey, you know, I'm actually part of this whole thing. And, you know, as a kid, when you're watching the FA Cup finals of old, you know, I mean, I've been following football since 1966, 67, and, you know, watching all those old cup finals and remembering those, and you think, I'm actually at the same place, doing this, and on these occasions, you know, like, it's a big occasion for the players. Any Wembley appearance is a big occasion for a footballer, and I'm there with them. To be in there at Wembley, you see the great big Grimsby Town badge on the wall, you know, where they change the badges and they change all the things. You know, they go to all that trouble just to make you feel at home and get you settled. And to be in there and part of that, it's just like a different world.
The Mariners haven't always had the results they craved at Wembley, but under legendary manager Alan Buckley, the incredible double-winning season of 1998 brings back wonderful memories for everyone involved with the club.
If you'd have said, I'll tell you what, within 9 months you'll have won at Wembley twice and be promoted back to the Championship, I would have had to pinch myself, because really, you know, football at times makes dreams come true. And I think for that season alone, it made dreams come true, because it was a fantastic place to be involved with it. It's quite two-footed, Smudge, mainly left-footed, and you know, I worked with him at West Brom. Knew he was a clever footballer. Right sort of personality to bring into the club, really worked hard at his game. And I remember sort of being 1-0 down unjustly to a penalty that Peter Beardsley scored. And sort of the second half we got ourselves together a bit, kept the ball better. And it sort of fell towards the edge of the penalty box, moving on to his right side, Smudger, and sort of hitting it from right to left back into the bottom corner. Really well taken goal. And that set us up for a fantastic night to beat Fulham down here in the home game.
I actually took a bit of a gamble, because I'd sort of read that the right fullback at the time was going to pass back to his centre half, so I literally gambled on that happening. So I was already off and running, and the centre half was asleep for whatever reason. Literally the fullback passed it back in behind his centre half who didn't know what, so I'm in on goal, straight in on goal. And it's one of those, you're always taught as a kid, you know, if you've got a chance, you know, take it at the time. So that's what I did. There was an opportunity to take it there. I was on my right foot, which over the course of my career I've scored a few goals with, and I just decided to let go. And again, my memories of it took ages to go in. It seemed to like bobble into the corner, but actually it went in at a fair rate of knots. So chuffed to bits, absolutely fantastic. I think on the day they'd been reduced to 10 men. And maybe we could have even gone on and nicked it down there, but luckily brought them back here, and Kevin Donovan scored what was ultimately the deciding goal.
It was no more than we deserved, and it meant that we'd just got to hang on to what we got to get away with a creditable draw to a massive club like Fulham. Don't forget they got Kevin Keegan with the manager and things like that. And you know, it was a fantastic achievement for us to even go there and get a point against a team who'd cost millions of pounds. So really, to take that team there, your Donovans and your Groveses particularly, and your Burnett's, we more than matched them. When we used to cross that white line, we used to be able to play football against anybody.
When they beat Fulham here at Blundell Park, and Kevin Donovan scored a goal that took the Mariners to Wembley, and people have said subsequent to that game that when that goal went in, they heard the cheer of the crowd on the other side of the town. It was that loud. It was such an explosion of joy that everybody was celebrating, and it meant so much. And probably there was so much relief as well when that goal went in, because it signified that they were going to Wembley.
I went down there with my dad, and my uncle was originally from Grimsby but moved down to London. So we met up with him outside of the ground, went for something to eat, and then started the walk to Wembley along with all the town fans. And you're just like taken in by this like wave of black and white going towards Wembley. And in the car that morning there was the sign up saying last one out of town, turn the lights off. It's a thing that's gone down in folklore, but it was just, you felt like you were part of something. You felt like you were part of a town basically decamping for the day and going down to London, and for what was a party. I mean, it could have gone the other way.
Well, that was a fantastic achievement for the club to go to Wembley. Most of the town went that day. And that was, I don't mean it was like a day out, because we wanted to win. Nobody wants to go to Wembley and lose, because it's not a place for losers. Wembley's a place for winners. It was a bit like a party atmosphere. I detected that from the fans. It was absolutely amazing. Then you look up to the right, it's all black and white. All the terracing and all the seats and everywhere is a mass of black and white, and that's what it was like. And to walk out and see all the scarves, I mean, I've seen people walk out at Wembley and look up and wave. I mean, I had no chance of spotting any of my family there that day, I'll tell you.
Great times, you can never ever, sort of replicate what went on there, and just seeing him able to enjoy it, because he's put a lot of hard work in himself. People say about the players, but the management staff do as well. So it was great to see him enjoying himself as well.
When we lose a game and I'll be in a foul mood, and the fans don't see me go home and shut the door and want to be miserable for the whole of the weekend to win another game. But I tell you, your own family sees that, your wife sees that, your children see that, and really it wasn't very nice for them at times. So to think that they can go to Wembley and see the team win. When you win at Wembley, all the fans stay and they want to celebrate, and to walk around Wembley as a winner for the second time in 5 or 6 weeks was a fantastic experience, a fantastic day for us. But the players had worked so hard to get there. It took us 63 games to get there, to win that last one, to get to Wembley. The togetherness throughout the squad, throughout the club yet again, was there. Everybody in it together, all wanting to win, all want the best for the football club, which wasn't always the case when I didn't feel. But it was a fantastic place to be.
The emotion of the day was just incredible, and you felt like you had achieved something as a fan along with the team. You were part of the effort that day, and it was just overwhelming.
It's a famous old club. It's one of the first clubs in the Football League, going way back. And you can look up the history books and you find that out. And the famous players have gone through here. Some fantastic footballers.
We've got an unbelievable fan base. This year, more have come and supported us at home than we budgeted for. We're absolutely delighted with that. So the support's growing, and long may that continue.
Despite the Mariners having spent 6 seasons in the abyss of non-league, there was a collective sense of optimism and determination following the Wembley loss to Bristol Rovers in 2015. Spearheaded by Operation Promotion, which saw the fans raise over £100,000 towards the signing of new players, as well as the consistent promotional mantras of "This Town Knows" and "We Go Again," there was a real sense that Town were destined to return to the league status that was rightfully theirs. And although Town only inconsistently hit the heights during the regular season in 2016, on the 15th of May, the playoff final brought the best out of Paul Hurst's men, who recorded a 3-1 Wembley win that sent the 14,000 travelling Mariners into raptures and elevated the club back into the Football League, where, hopefully, there are many more adventures to come.